Now you want to swat up. Now you want to swap my leg. You want to play? Uh. It's gonna look me right in the face, huh? Yeah, what's happening, y'all? You ought to see. You know what's funny? When you know it's a fake account, you can tell. I've seen I've seen a number of accounts with pictures you would think are wholesome, and they're nothing but computer generated. Even as fine as they look, because it's not hard to see it. And all the pictures are that way. Because you can determine them by the pictures of people you know and people who you've dealt with over the last five, several, depending on how long you've been on these platforms, compared with the people who all of a sudden just out of nowhere are commenting. Every time there's something negates negativity, or as if they're intelligent, seeking some response to believe, because that's when they get you. You know what I'm saying? Not me. I just say whatever the fuck I feel like. But anyway, they have one post, no post, haven't posted a video or nothing, and you look at the picture, the profile. I mean, you can't make this up. Like, who could take anybody like that serious? So anyway, I was actually having a look-see at the Kamala Harris Biden with that 29-year-old Cuban nigga talking. With anybody that's standing with them is a plot, ploy, or they are that condition. Well, they got a nice little banking account, okay? And probably been promised. That's why I said it's important to watch The Maiden's Tale. I read the book before I watched it. I read the book some years ago, long before the series came out. The book's been around for quite some time, y'all. And the book, much different from the movie, but the movie was exceptionally excellent. And there are people who have been promised those gigs, regardless of what class or level. They prefer to be there than those who are not here or unalive. And the way things are moving, and the audience. You have to check it out for yourself, or any photos or anything they put up. But I can tell you this: it's nothing but a big vaudeville show. I mean, I'm listening to two of the dumbest people on earth talk. Would you give it to people who are morally sound and with principles? Would you give the presidency to anybody like that? Of course not. You give it to somebody who can articulate themselves well, read the prompts really good. Instead of, they are literally allowing these people to babble whatever, and whoever their writers are, oh my goodness. But this is a circle jerk, and anybody in the audience clapping, they're part of media, staff, Hollywood. Trust me, that's more than enough, and they're dual citizens of foreign. But hey, look, to each his own. Let me go ahead and get this reading, because I got to run to the post office. And I haven't checked to see if anybody donated with the books, because I was hoping that today we can order at least 3 or 4 of those books. But if not, I'll just wait till next weekend. I'm not going to order those, even though it would be important to have the next book to this. Could have had it by next weekend. Or yeah, because we ordered today, it probably get here by next, because it's on Amazon. I'm back on Amazon Prime. I was off of it. I was like, how is that? I just paid for it. It was a mistake. Something, I guess, the system went down. I don't know what happened. Whatever the lady was saying, I was like, all right, well, I paid, and so I don't want to see it down for, $14 a month. But yeah, it'll get here sooner. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna touch on the land of Mars. All right, I think it's 1 or 2 more little chapters left. And then we're gonna go ahead and get into the gods of Eden and reptilians and Anunnaki. All right, but I'm gonna read a little bit of the alien world before I get into those two. All right, so this is the lands of Mars, 178 worlds under the Great Dome. Nos Confalam by Claudio Marcelli. That's the gentleman right there. Okay, he does have a YouTube channel for those who speak Espanol. You can go over there, or let your parents watch. Just Say, hey, mom, I found it pretty good. Listen to this. And sometimes you'd be surprised, my Spanish brothers and sisters, the mammies and the pappies will remember something that, because nobody's holding the conversation, and they'll say, oh, I remember, you know what I'm saying? So, check it out for yourself, okay? Now, those who don't know how to speak Spanish, you're attempting to brush up your Spanish, watch and listen. Pause, learn the word, go back, let's do it again. Might not be able to speak it, but you may be able to interpret or and have a little more understanding. Same thing I do when I'm listening to Cantonese. I prefer Mandarin, but Cantonese seems to be the language that's spoke. So I watch a lot of shows. I watch the brothers who speak it. I listen to what they're saying. I leave the closed captioning on, and I just over and over and over. Words stick. It's not the greatest, but accents, a lot of accents. All right, so anyway, let's go ahead and get into this so we can get this done. I still haven't eaten. I haven't been taking anything. But we'll take care of that here shortly. Anyway, chapter 6, the portal hidden on Mars. Yesterday, excuse me, we are with chapter 5, the ship of repentant ones. When we were talking about, did we read this? Oh, no, we're in chapter 5, excuse me, the ship of repentant ones, excuse me. What we covered was, we went over the ancestral expedition and the writings of Captain Raoul. My apologies. I'm not tired, y'all. It's just sun gazing and, doing my thing outside. Anyway, chapter 5, the ship of repentant ones. One day, dang it, Ginger. One day of heavy rain, where not May dared to walk through the great. This is literally what it says, y'all, and I'm not going to make the correction. One day of heavy rain, where not May dared to walk through the gray streets of the ancestral republic. An unknown vessel was sighted by the Naval Guard in conjunction with the ISDT, that's the Intelligence Service and Detection Technology. For those times, it was not at all common to spot any kind of vessel that seemed to be going aimlessly and practically crashing into our shores. Now the storm, I think, forced them to stop on their way and find our lands. To our entire concern, we feared that it could be a strategy of the parasitic races to attack our lands. Being survivors, escape from their yoke and also face them in a bloody past war. We could not afford to receive unknown ships without asking. We were certainly prepared to attack in case of being some kind of custodial trap. It was a moment of extreme tension of all the personnel there. Several men and women looked out, and we could make out their silhouettes, raising their arms under the intense rain of thunder and lightning. Their ship stopped in our port, and they were received by naval officers. A man introduced himself to them, stating that his ship came from the lands of Mars, and that they were children of the human colony that escaped with uncertain destiny, but that they were tired of the conflicts with other races that were being unleashed there. After rigorous examinations of being received by the President of the Republic and the members of defense along with other leaders, it was possible to obtain much information that had been previously ascertained with the trip of Captain Raoul. Also, their versions report that the captain had been killed in cold blood, as they had been aware as soon as they landed on their shores, and a planned attack was carried out to kill the entire group, but that the team responded with technology they had not seen before and were able to retreat. Other stories were also shared by the group before departing, again with uncertain destination, or perhaps for safety's sake, they did not want to say. The lands of Mars are a living paradise that could have had another destination, a magnificent future of peace and harmony. Its flora and fauna are unique and keep the most intrinsic mysteries of nature. Surely, we will have more stories of those distant lands that must be rescued from the same dirty hands that got in the way of destiny of many of the races as well as the circle environment of the 178 worlds under this great dome. Tomorrow we'll get into the portal hidden on Mars, and that's pretty decent. When I read this last time, that one and the next one is just it pretty much locks. It locks the whole thing in. That's why I was saying I knew there was another part, and I can't wait to get that book. That's going to be a good read. Okay. So, because it's the continued story by, what's her name? Morrison's daughter. Okay, I can't remember her name offhand. Helen, I think. And that's going to be a pretty good read. I was thinking about Iron Republic because, as y'all know, the Iron Republic happened long after this. And see, a lot of people were shooting messages at me. How about the Iron Republic? In my head, I'm like, obviously they didn't read it. They heard it from somebody. The most important thing to do, people, is read. That way, at least if you're going to speak on something, you have a better inclination of what's going to come out your mouth. Okay? So anyway, The Gods of Eden by William Bramley. Envy's a motherfucker. People see you doing something. I do it too. So the fuck what? Then read. Go create a channel. Bring out your best books and break it down to them and analyze and, share your travels, even if they're in your dreams. Anyway, y'all know yesterday we were talking about the brotherhood, the white brotherhood and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, let's carry on from there, okay? The original uncorrupted brotherhood engaged in a pragmatic program of spiritual education. The organization's approach was scientific, not mystical or ceremonial. The subject of the spirit was considered to be as knowable as any other science. It seems that the brotherhood possessed a considerable body of accurate spiritual data, but it had not succeeded in developing a complete route to spiritual freedom prior to its defeat. Now, the Brotherhood's teachings were arranged in a step-by-step process. A student was required to satisfactorily complete one level of instruction before proceeding to the next one. Now, you got to remember, this is their own people who they want to eradicate it because they wanted to help. As far as the story dictates. Okay? Anyway, a student was required to satisfactorily complete one level of instruction before proceeding to the next one. Anyway, and all pupils took oaths of secrecy in which they swore never to reveal the teachings of a level to any person who had not yet graduated up to that level. Sounds like something, huh? This style of instruction was designed to ensure that a student did not prematurely attempt difficult spiritual feats or become overwhelmed by advanced level information before he was ready. He or she was ready for it. And in the same way that one does not take a student driver on treacherous mountain roads before the student successfully navigates easier, but increasingly difficult highways first. Now, imparting spiritual knowledge in this fashion will be effective as long as the levels are ultimately open to everyone. And when arbitrary or blanket restrictions are placed on who may have access to the teachings, either through overregulation, elitism, or by setting near impossible conditions for admittance, sounds familiar, right, brothers and sisters? The system of confidential step-by-step levels changes from an educational tool into an instrument of spiritual repression. And the Brotherhood underwent just such a change. This last little paragraph here. That's not a little bit, yeah. The teachings of the Brotherhood in ancient Egypt were organized into an institution known as the Mystery School. The schools furnished the pharaohs and priests with most of their scientific, moral, and spiritual education. Now, according to Dr. H. Spencer Lewis, founder of the Rosicrucian, listen to this, founder of the Rosicrucian Order, headquartered in San Jose, California. The first temple built for use by the mystery schools was erected by Pharaoh Cheops. Inside those temple walls, spiritual knowledge underwent the deterioration which caused pharaohs to mummify their bodies and bury wooden boats. Now, according to old Egyptian lore, the distorted teachings of the mystery schools were created by the great teacher Ra, an important custodial god. It's funny how we went away from two different books here. We're mentioning the custodians again. Now you remember in the what was that one book I read to you guys? The Custodians, right? I think it's right here, right? I mean, it's under these two. The Custodians of Time. Remember it? He looked just like them, a car accident, but he was able to get up and, with his projection, heal himself, and make a mockery of the professor and the police officers and such. No correlation, not at all. It's pretty crazy. Stop. Custodial gods. Something to think about. I'm just saying, just putting it out there because you remember there are parts where I discuss how they really they detest us. Who would detest you? Who would make your brother hate you? Who would make your daughter or your sister or your mama or your daddy? Who would do such a thing? And with them having no regards to the fact that those broken, irrational feelings even exist. And for what real purpose? You can't make this stuff up. I mean, I guess they can, but it's something to think about. All right, let's go ahead. Reptilians in the history of humankind. Stop. You're spilling the damn water, man. Come on, little bro. Reptilians in the history of humankind. Anunnaki and Henry Crane. There's a lot of brothers out there in the communities, indigenous or whatever community you want to title it. They keep telling you that you're the Anunnaki. No, you are not. Royalty? Of course. That is post something else. And it's really kind of, it's sounding ridiculous, like as if the giants that fought beside us would allude to the fact who we paid high tribulations and to those who we saw as stern guidance and leadership long after the fall of Atlantis. So you would believe that they wouldn't be attempting to harm or enslave the people. And then what would we be worshiping people that look like us, regardless of height, size, or anything else? Regardless of the magnitude of deformity, if it exists. Makes absolutely no sense when you think about it. Yet, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. So anyway, let's go ahead and pop this off. I'm not going to show you the knucklehead's face because, you know, he's allowed. Disinformation is a hellified tool. And misdirection and all that. Cut it out. God, dog, bro, you bugging. So anyway, here we are. The God Yahweh in his new identity. Reaching the fifth dimension, his disciples, began to write and spread the story of Jesus. And this quickly spread throughout Rome and Europe. This greatly reduced the number of believers of the God Yahweh and the Roman gods, reducing the chosen people to a minority and made staggering these religions. Anu and Enlil, seeing that their power was crumbling, contacted their faithful disciples, the hybrids, and they were the emperors of Rome and were advised to impose the polytheistic religion as the official, sentencing to death to whom did not profess it. Sounds familiar too, right? Islam, Inquisition, Catholicism between Protestants, and oh man, this goes on, the disease. It should be noted that Enlil was not entirely in agreement with this decision, since he would have preferred Rome to put Yahweh as the one God. However, given the critical situation, he accepted and supported the decision. That is how it began in Rome, the hunt of the followers of Jesus. Now, the second advice they gave to the hybrids was to chase and put an end to all the disciples of Jesus who spread his word to avoid them to be shared around the world. Stop spilling that, Alexander. You can't hold a glass like me, bro. My apologies for you learning that from me, but come on, bro. He's literally on the Ow, stop. Just drink. Thank you. And then he puts one of them hooks and it spills the water. What is that, man? There you go, buddy. That you got it. You ain't got to look at me like that. I love you too, man. Stop spilling the water, bro. Yeesh. That is how it began in Rome, the hunt for the followers of Jesus. The second advice they gave to the hybrids was to chase and put an end to all the disciples of Jesus who spread his word to avoid them to be shared around the world. And each hybrid that was the emperor took the advice, and they began to prosecute the disciples. However, the disciples had the support of the members of the Society of the White Dragon, who knew very well that if they wanted humankind to be saved, it was necessary to share the message of Jesus, which was based on love and the destruction of dogmas and churches. Therefore, it was churches have been nothing but our plague and our problem, haven't they? Therefore, it was very difficult to catch the disciples of Jesus. Stop it. I can see you with my peripheral dog. And it's a cat. Disciples of Jesus to the Roman Empire. Yeesh. I gotta mop it up, people, okay? It's just water, but come on. I want them to drink it, not waste it. There you got it, buddy. Now, while this was happening, my apologies, this is real time, you right? While this was happening, the Draconians went to the fourth dimension and demanded an explanation from Anu, who told them that Jesus had been modified genetically by the Carians and the Palladians, and that had caused all that disaster. The Draconians asked Anu why they did not have makes absolutely no sense when they were, I'm not going to correct it, but have been advised before. The fuck? And you know the correct grammar, right? So let's move forward. And Anu replied, cut it out. Thank you. Hey, man, that's weird, bro. Anyway, well, not weird, y'all. Anyway, yeah. The Draconians went to the fourth dimension and demanded an explanation from Anu, who told them that Jesus, I guess I'm gonna be mopping, had been modified genetically by the Carians and the Palladians, and that had caused all that disaster. Now the Draconians asked Anu why they did not have, or why were they not advised before? Okay, and Anu replied that they had realized of this until Jesus ascended into the fifth dimension. I did not recognize or know. Now the Draconians took, and trust me, y'all, as I'm reading this over and over just to make sure, literally, that's the craziness right there. You see that? You screenshot it and read it for yourself. I used to correct a lot of things. No, I don't feel like it. Come on, buddy. Now the Draconians took this action of the Carians. Oh, yeah. Come on, bro. See, you just spilled half of it. That's it. You'd be dry with chapped lips. The Draconians took this action of the Carians and Palladians as a disobedience of the orders of the Kajutsu, since for them they had violated the law of free will of humans. So they decided to impose a compliant. You have to go upstairs and drink water now, bro. Anyway, to impose a complaint to the members of the Galactic Confederation. Anu told them that they had already taken action in Uranus, Earth, to reverse this and make a definitive break with the message of Jesus. But the Draconians were well aware that such measures would not work out, since the message of Jesus was going to survive through time and space, and advised Anu to change strategy. They did not have to impose their polytheistic religion, but that they had to change the message of Jesus and persuade the humans of that. That is, make humans believe that Jesus gave a different message. Now, Enlil, who was listening to the conversation, said it was going to take a long time, to which the Draconians answered that they had plenty of time. Even though Anu had not told anything to the Draconians about the participation of Enki in the creation of Jesus, he put 2 security guards to watch Enki full time so he did not come out of the fourth dimension, and banned him from communicating with humans under penalty of banishment. And Enki, embarrassed with everything his plan had unleashed, was obliged to abide by the punishment of his father. It was the year 60 AD when Nero, a hybrid king of Rome, was commissioned to strictly comply orders from their Anunnaki masters. First, he attacked the town of Qumran, destroying almost entirely the Essenes, surviving only a dozen people who traveled to Egypt to take refuge in the White Brotherhood. Later in the year 67, Nero ordered the killing of Peter, and he was crucified head down in the circle of the Vatican Hill, and he was buried there in what we know today as the Vatican. But Nero not only prosecuted the followers of Jesus, but also hunted regularly the Jews, the chosen people of Endel, destroying Jerusalem, since he wanted that the Roman religion was the only one. This marked the beginning of the diaspora or dispersion of the Jews, known as a wandering people and homeless. To never name nothing, to profess no land of ownership, just heirs to the earth. Who does that befit? I just want to know. I mean, I'm just suggesting. Who does that befit? Think about it. It's not complicated. I know those people who feel strongly about their lives of life be like, this not true, this true. Yeah, okay, whatever. So I read, just to let you know, I read Anunnaki, which called. So let's get into the DNA of the gods. Actually, I wanted to read that with, I'm going to read a couple of chapters of these right now. DNA of the gods, the Anunnaki creation of Eve, and the alien battle for humanity. What I'm going to read when I get back is I want to get to Alien World, the Reptilian Witch Call Conqueror. Yeah, I want to read that alone. That has so much information that it will only, I guess bring out some of the things we read. Because you got to remember, whenever I read or if you read, most people when they read forget what they read 7 days ago. They might remember little parts, but the majority forget what they read 7 days ago. That's why most people in college and stuff like that, they do the studying. Some people have photographic memory and they can have recall. But a lot of people, when they study, they write, they read, they watch, and they cram 2 days to 3 days before a test or even a questionnaire. You know what I'm saying? So at least there's some remembrance. Now, DNA of the Gods, the Anunnaki creation of Eve, and the alien battle for humanity by Chris H. Hardy. Don't worry about it. It's just water. It'll be all right, man. He hears my voice and he knows, and he looks at me, and I'm like, I'm not angry at him. He's like a little over 2 years old, y'all. He's a marvelous little beast, but I have to, hey, and he just looks at me like, okay. He starts drinking. I think he looks up and he puts that hook on it. He's literally trying to grab it and pick it up and drink it, because whenever I pour his stuff to drink, he'll come over where it's pouring and he'll lick the stream coming down. Like our dog's playing with the hose, he fetches, he does all that. And then when it's topped off, he won't even drink. It'll be like late at night or the next day when he'll go over and he'll start drinking the water, and I'm like, man, I'm not gonna empty it out and pour it back in. It's real weird. He's even sitting up on the toilet seat. Look, man, because I'm in here by myself. I don't close the bathroom door. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there with shotty in hand, just in case. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into this. Yesterday we were reading, I guess you could say, the poem or something like that, to whatever one, some Apsu and all that. Anyway, we see also a great respect for one's mother. Thus, when Nimna is given lordship of the fourth region, the Sinai Peninsula, called Tillman. Poor kid. Anyway, on which stood the new post-diluvial spaceport, in a land arid and inhospitable. Her son Nuruta, fathered by her brother Enlil, constructed a whole irrigation network so that vegetation crops, flower trees, and fruit trees could grow, giving the people the food and comfort they needed. Giving the people the food. Let me see. Network so that vegetation, no pigs, cows, and chickens, no crops, no pigs, cows, and chickens, no flowers, trees, and fruit trees, no pigs, cows, and chickens, could grow, giving the people the food and comfort they needed. There is strong father-daughter bonding, and at least on the part of Enki, it is riddled with incest. Enki, who in his overwhelming wish to get a male heir, and having had only a daughter from Nimna, starts engaging this daughter of his, and then his granddaughter. Likewise, Anu is said to have loved his great-granddaughter, Inanna, in a more than symbolic manner, and to have been with her whenever he visited Earth, or the one time that she visited Nibiru. Of course, let's note that we are in a society in which half-brother, half-sister marriage is not only welcome, but favored by the heritage laws. Now, as for the union with a full sister or brother, that's how knucklehead Jerry Lee Lewis was already, but he married her. What was she, 13? Sick. It is permissible for pleasure, but marriage is forbidden. Furthermore, we are talking about near immortals, and in parentheses, from our standpoint, that is. Even if the quicker Earth cycles make the Anunnaki on Earth age a bit faster than on their mother planet. Now, to the point of making, and there go the dogs, my little buddy, French bulldogs. Anu, when visiting Earth, looked younger than his own sons. We see beautiful poems chanting the sensual love of a sister for a half-brother, and we don't see the Anunnaki rejoicing together often. The magnificent feasts are mostly during Anu and his wife Antu's visits to Earth, and for the significant religious feasts, the gods are mostly rejoicing with their followers and devotees in their own cities, but rarely between Anunnaki. Wow. The next one we'll get into is the two human gods and the shadow side. Oh, that's crazy. Well, I wonder why people are picking that crap up. You couldn't pay me to sleep with a relative that close. Oh God, that's just. And then you know you got the idiots. What if everybody was dead and you had to populate the earth? Oh, we're gonna be making some fucking babies. But other than that stupid ass suggestion, hell no. Be like, look, there's like 5 other motherfuckers out there, and there might be some people on the ground. We got to get them prepared. So we're going to turn out about 15 to 20. Oh, that's the way it is. I might get that long to live. Let's get them popping out. Let them meet the other motherfuckers so they can get to Adam and Eve and not Bob and Steven. So, you know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead with the wars of the Anunnaki. Stop. Anunnaki, nuclear self-destruction, and ancient Sumar. Same individual book goes together. I think there's one more actually, but I'm not going to worry about getting that. Having a hard time getting the last book. Well, I could buy it, but I said if I buy it, I'm not reading it. I'll show it. Look what I got. They worked long, and some of them have left. Anyway, the king gods of the cities. Peep this. The first couple is taken back to the Abzu. Okay, yesterday, all right, when we were talking about Shopakak and Eridu and all that crack, Nimna and Enki, and talking about the crisis, I guess Eve and all that stuff, and garden. I'm just giving you certain things so you can recall where we left off for those who are watching. Okay, nuclear weapons and all that crap. So anyway, let's get back into it. The first couple is taken back to the Abzu, where they will have their first child. But later, Adapa and his wife Titi, the second couple, all right, move back to Sumar, as do Nimna and Enki. And we know that Adapa is present in Shurapa, Nimna city, a biological and medical center, because he is invested by her with the title of the first king or ruler of the city. Thus, before the deluge, though, Nimna had already given the kingship of her city to earthlings of mixed percentage, starting with Adapa, all the way to the 10th king, Zasuda, or who you might call Noah. But Adapa is also in Eridu, a center of learning that will develop its own academies, where he becomes the first of the 7 sages of Eridu. After being taught a variety of sciences, including priestly ones, by Enki and his temple. Now, Adapa became a learned scholar and scientist who wrote books for his descendants, and also a priest initiated in several esoteric sciences. And in parentheses, it says, one was a medical and healing system taught to him by Anu during a visit to Nibiru, and he was invested by Anu to start a priestly line. That's Encounters 56. That's the other book, y'all. I don't have it. After the deluge, when humanity has multiplied, the cities are organized around the abode temple of a royal god, acting as king or queen and ruler of the city. Now the earthlings know all about the other gods and their family links, as well as their family feuds, ushering competition, strife, and wars between cities. Now Anu exerts a global sovereignty. He is well known by all the earthlings because magnificent feasts are given whenever he comes on a visit with his wife Anu. Institutionalized kingdoms and faiths. Pick that poo up, that's all I know. Now, at one cornerstone meeting of the assembly, the Anunnaki decide that they are too lofty for humanity, meaning they now want to be regarded and venerated as gods, but they also want to be more distant from the earthlings, and they institute kingship in their own wording in the Epic of Etana. In the Epic of Etana, you always hear about the Epic of Gilgamesh, the Epic, oh hell, go check out the Etana, it's Etana. Okay, and they decide to lower kingship from heaven to earth, and to give to the earthlings the tiara and the crown, certainly 2 MEs of kingship. They simultaneously institute priesthood and lines of priests, and the king will be an intermediary, forwarding their decrees and commands to the population and maintaining law and order in the cities. This decree ushers in the time of the institutionalized religion, with only the numbered lords of the royal family, the circle of 12, let me show you all this right quick. You know what? I should have it up here. When we say the circle of 12, the gospel of the Holy 12, how they push it further. And then we can get into a little more of that when I start sharing some of this with you guys, which is actually the I guess you could say the Regus poems, or Helliwell manuscripts, you know, Masonic shit. Old. Okay? They simultaneously institute priesthood and lines of priests. The king will be an intermediary, forwarding their decrees and commands to the population and maintaining law and order in their cities. This decree ushers in the time of the institutionalized religion, which only the numbered lords of the royal family, the circle of 12, granted the right to build their own temples and be venerated, on the condition that they had received the hard-won permission from Enlil and the assembly, even Ninurta, the forever loyal son and warrior of Enlil, who had to wait a very long time for it, Nimrod. Okay? Yeah, see, my mouth is very dry. There's ginger and stuff that I'm drinking. Gets back in my throat a little itchy. It's not an allergy. It's happened every time. I had my allergy test done. It's not that. That's why I got the humidifier going on low, so I can figure out what it is. It's nothing bad. It's just, you know, and when I'm talking, I can feel it, and I just keep pushing through it, even though it's itchy or irritating. But also, it's, I think, the weather, because I haven't gotten sick. I used to years ago. I used to get sick every season change in the military. That flu shot, and then I think after I got out of the military, I stopped getting the flu shots like a year and a half before I got out. 2 years, I think. I just refused to. I was like, I'm not getting that crap no more. And then I started getting pneumonia like crazy. I was like, what is this? Like, you know, like, any of y'all ever had pneumonia 23 times? The doctors were even like, and you can hear him saying, how's he alive? Stupid asses. Anyway. So when we come back, we're going to get into alien world order when I come back, okay? When we come back on. The reptilian plan to divide and conquer the human race. I've been reading so much of this. Hellified read, y'all. My friend Yogi, I think did I tell him I had this book? I think he wanted to check it out. He's reading 2 other books I shared with him. But we'll get into that, and then we'll go right into these 3, okay? Pale Horse, ancient modern Britain, Jews and Muslims in Europe. Don't worry, we'll get back into the Algonquins finding Europe and all that good stuff. But I want to keep your brains fresh and I want to keep them stimulated. You dig what I'm saying? So we'll get these when we come back. Put these up here. I appreciate y'all taking the time to come in and listen. I really do. And what was that? Hey, Stu, what's up, beloved? Let me go back up. Rondo, what's going on, beloved? Devon Monroe, what's going on, beloved? Yo, salute, salute. You already know. Oh, what's going on, beloved? James B. I gotta call you James B. I ain't calling you the mom. No, I'm just kidding. 0014 and shit, some new shit. No, 14 or so. I don't know. Snoo, what's up, baby? Mama Red. Damn, long time no see. Yo, what's up? Go, what's back there? Yo, no, let me stop. You damn moon. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you. Yo, where in the world? What's going on? And people call me strange for using the bathroom. Yeah, oh man, no man, I take a shower. I can grab. Listen, I got the duty hanging. Look, man, I don't play around because some pop off, and I got to go out there with my thing to flap it like knockers and getting it in. So be it. You know what I'm saying? Sure. They know they ain't gonna let me put my hands on it. Separate the head from the body. But anyway, it's good to see you, Mama Red. Max B, one's at a cat, same color as yours. Extremely intelligent man on weirdest thing. I'd awake in AM and she would be perched dead sitting on top of my chest looking squirrely. Yep, definitely do. Arm between my legs, and I know he's dead, so I don't move, because then he wants to bite and play with my feet like, nigga, oh, you did the trigger. You threw the ball. Nigga, that's my foot. That's my foot. Whenever I walk in, it's rubbing through my legs. Like I stand there for like a minute. Hey, baby, give me that belly. Give me that belly. What's going on, boy? I step out of that little circle environment that he's going at the not mean as play. No nails retracted. They're not, and he's going after the back of my back because he wants to play. It's like, hey, big bro, you home? I'm like, all right, little big bro, I'm cool. Let me put this stuff on the shelf. Let me get the clothes out to dry and fold them. Hey, just chill for a moment. He ain't trying to hear none of that. And then when I'm in the kitchen, he come right there on the kitchen floor, lay right there like Charisma used to do, like, where's my snacks, nigga? And I'm sitting there going, look, cuz, I got you. And he'll get up and walk away then. Like, I don't want to watch you unbagging that shit. You ain't doing nothing. Terrible, what's going on, beloved? I know cats are mystical and mysterious in antiquity, yes. Just not sure to what degree. Some say you know what? When you manifest, I'm going to say this, this is facts. When you manifest self differently, and you start walking your truth without you have to say nothing to nobody, you'll know. The Circle of 12 was a council of knowledge formed at the Age of Enlightenment. We read that the other day, but yes, they met at the Castle Shadow within the Gatekeeper Mountain during the Great Expansion. Telmer turned evil. Yes, baby, yes. Sought evil power for his own gain and turned each race against the others, and you see that playing out today. Yeah, my worm and building my soil. Oh, okay. I hear you. Got you. Okay. Got you. You're getting your soil right with the worms. You put. Oh, okay. Ants and all kind of insects. If you got the proper soil, and that's why I tell, like on the res, I was showing them how to take mulch and all that kind of stuff. Every payday, go and grab 4 bags of mulch, take your scraps, your foods, your fruit and vegetable scraps and all that, and put it in and build a mountain. Like 4 bags, 8 bags a month of mulch, or soil. Just build a mountain. Now, I don't care about the rain and none of that. Throw your banana, your apple cores, your chicken bones, throw all that stuff out there. And what happens is it attracts insects. What happens, you get larvae and this, that, and other. Now, to the chicken, which is a buzzard, half buzzard and half, I forget the other bird. Anyway, it eats that stuff. And it's natural. It's running around playing. You ain't got to give it no greens, none of that crap. Now, that chicken I'll eat if I was to continue to eat meat. That I can deal with, like my chicken, all my, but my chicken coop was at my boys, you know what I'm saying? I would go over there and work on. I would say nothing to her. I'm like, please, man, I wasn't even trying to hear it. I'm like, sell some of them Jersey Red Roosters, sell some of them things. Because at that time I was still dealing with this government, like with my injuries from the military. Like, what's wrong with these monkeys? Well, you can see what the problem is. They want to have war and babies being put to death and everything else, because that's what it's all about. Margaret Sanger shit. And it's like the 2A community and the black 2A community. I'm like, you know what? FBI, NFA, all of it's built out of racism. Like, how you think it applies to you if it no longer stands? Like, y'all following these goddamn woods and some of these Pelicans who don't know no better, and y'all following them as if, man, we created the goddamn Second Amendment. And the Constitution Bill of Rights is from our shit, not no goddamn Mongolians. They didn't have no goddamn canoes. Canoes have been here longer than they have. As long as you can't make this stuff up. But the intellectually stymied and weak who venerate the same puss-like BS have a hard time acclimating putting this stuff together. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just for real. I'm gonna shut up because I can go on and on and on for real. But we gotta do something different, y'all. We gotta come into our own. And the conditioning is hard to just up and leave. We have every reason and excuse in the world instead of the right one. And that's no jabs. That's for all of us. Just because I travel and all that, for a moment there, I never thought I would leave the East Coast. I figured I'd just go up and down the East Coast. And then I was like, wait a minute, that's fucking retarded. Oh, listen, I've been all over, man. Let me go. And I took a road trip. Actually, I knew where I was going, but I actually was thinking about going in another direction. Halfway, I took the trip. I took my time. I didn't do it in 3 days. Well, I knew how to. I took 6 days, 5.5, and I enjoyed it. Me and Charisma stopping here. I had the U-Haul with the hitch and the truck. I had more than enough time, and it was magnificent. I was going different ways. I wanted to see the big tweed ball, the yarn ball. I wanted to see this. I wanted to see the big rocket. I had to see because you got to remember, I was coming from Millville, New Jersey. So instead of going one straight route, and going through the Rockies and all, I said, no, I'm a dip down, dab, cadaver, don't drink, you know what I'm saying? And remembering places I hadn't seen in so long. Some places I was like, what the fuck happened? Like, what the, you know what I mean? But I enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it. And it was a beautiful thing. And it's a different breath. I'm not saying that it'll work for everybody, but if you're adulting and you have a little something put away, I hate that word bag, and you ready to make that kind of transition, make it. You might not never get a chance. You might be able to see some things to record memory, to take note in head and heart. I'm just saying, y'all don't see that it's late in the game, and y'all stood by particular decisions that have not really been beneficial or helpful. I'm not attempting to stir anybody's, but I'm just saying, I want you to look at it and deeply meditate. Don't dwell. Don't never dwell on something. You meditate on it, put it away. Sometimes you reconstitute and you make a decision. Sometimes you might have to look at it again. But know this. I know I say I don't watch the media and this and other, but I pay attention to other things people are saying. And when somebody points something out, I'll say, well, let me go and have a gander, and I'll type in said words, magic words, keywords. And there it is. And then I'll watch that. Open-minded, of course, but I'll watch it, knowing it's all hypocrisy. And I wonder, in my head, I'm like, because everybody's got their own take. Did anybody get that? Is anybody paying attention? I don't know if it's still live. It might be over. But Biden and Kamala and that knucklehead little 20 of the youngest, Z an idiot with the fro, with the Cuban name, out of Miami, Florida, wherever the hell he is now, wherever he's at. Just listen to what, just listen to it. Don't get all regular heart beating. You know what I say about get all up in your feelings. Just listen. Be very constructive to self and go, you already know it's BS, but just, okay. And people actually literally believe in the shit. I mean, they eat it. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, hey, look, I'm going to shut it down, run out to the post office, and we're going to get into those books right there when we come back. But I want to read that Alien World Order. I want to read part of that. Just read that book and let you hear that. And then we'll take a break. I'll get some to eat later on, and then we'll come back and hit the last few books. All right? So, for those who don't know, if you want to, it's $I, lowercase Indian, uppercase JIM, Indian Jim, and you know how, one, okay, because there's nothing after, it's just one, all right? And that's the Cash App. We can go ahead and hopefully, maybe we can get those books ordered. If not, like I said, hopefully next week, you know, so let me go out here and see if I got, and I got to drop off, teacher got a package, I guess it's for her son, my little man, and I'll see y'all when I return. Oh, what was that? Was locked out of chat. I'm back. How'd you get locked out of chat? Yo, for real? I hadn't, man, it's been a minute. I was like, I figured you might be going through some, I was like, as long as she breathing, I'm so, and I even said to somebody, anybody heard from Mama Red? It's good to have you back, sis. It's good to have you back. Anyway, my beloved sisters and my brothers, I hope y'all watched that movie, that Kara Mills' last video. I think he's got another one coming up, but that one was pretty damn good. Someone any love. Wow. Anyway. Hey, Snoo, I attempted to, because you said today, and I'm like, what happened? But I appreciate y'all. Excuse me for the throat being a little jacked. But let me head on out of here, and I'll check this post office, and I'll be back.